Om Shanti. Good afternoon to all. Welcome to our Power Boost, that little shot of power that you all come for every day. And I think by now everyone must have gotten the gist of where that power comes from. It comes from your own self, from your own thoughts. So what we try to do in this session is really to share some thoughts that will get you stimulated and will perhaps inspire you to think on those lines as well. So today we want to think about charity together, a word that's been used a lot. And in terms of the situation that we are going through today, or the conditions of the world we are going through today in different parts of the world, I thought this is quite relevant for us to think about, talk about charity and what kind of charity is needed at this time. A lot of us think of charity as something that I can take out something from my pocket and give to someone. And we do have the habit of doing it from time to time, some very regularly and some sporadically and some very occasionally. And for some, it's almost like a nature, that habit of putting your hands in the pocket and giving something. And so the charity is usually something that's looked upon as very external thing of giving. And yet there's different types of charity, or there is a quality to our charity or giving of charity. I could think that, yes, I have a lot of something, and so let me get rid of some of it and give it away. And we also give that or do that, and we want a charitable deduction for that, right? That's one type of charity. But the other type of charity is when somebody is really in need of something, and I can perceive that need, and it really touches my heart. And mercy emerges from my heart. And it doesn't matter whether I have it or not, or however little I have of it, I still go into my store of stock and I take from that and I share that with that person, because I know that that person is in need. So somebody who is in need has really evoked that response in me. And I don't first think about whether I have, how much I have, but I just want to share what I have. And I think this kind of charity has a lot more value and a lot more return as well, where we are not counting from how much I have, but this attitude that I have enough to share and this person really needs it. And so let me share from what there is. And so there's no attitude of I have so much or it is my thing, but it's a general pool of resources that's made available to us. And so I have the fortune of having it in my hand at this time. So let me share from it. And in fact, this is how it is, isn't it? When we start to look at things spiritually in terms of karma, in terms of our own actions, what we have been given with or endowed and gifted with is really not ours. It's really from that general pool of resources, material resources. And so if I have the fortune of having it at this particular time, let me share from that. So charity at that time is looked upon as with a lot of value. And this brings us to not just doing charity, but really developing a charitable attitude, a charitable nature. as such, which I believe a lot of people have. And these conditions of the world are really evoking that nature to become active. Human nature actually is to help, isn't it? Somebody in need, I can help, let me do that. And of course, it that particular nature of helping, being charitable, is actually a lot of times suppressed by our lifestyle and our needs, our own needs, and our thoughts about our own self, selfish motives, so to speak. But these are times when I think we cut through all those layers of selfish motives or limitations, and we allow our human nature, charitable nature, to emerge. I know, for example, these are times when, lots of lots of people are suffering in terms of medically suffering, and so you do want to help in whatever way you can, and that nature emerges very naturally, and it actually is giving us all an opportunity, a chance to activate that nature of giving, nature of helping, nature of being charitable. And so, what does the world need today? Yes, in spite of so many physical problems happening, physical conditions that are deteriorating and really critical, as I would almost say critical in some parts of the world. And yet, you look at the whole in a holistic way, and you ask yourself, what is it that the world is wanting from me? What is it that nature is wanting from me? What is it that people are wanting from me? And what is it that I am wanting from myself? Most importantly, starting with that, right? And yes, of course, it's physical health, it's material resources, skills, special expertise, perhaps. But I think underlying all of that, the humanity as a whole is looking for much deeper treasures from each other. And I think these are times when we need to look under the surface and really see, what is this person really wanting from me that is in front of me. Yes, of course, you may have come for something very physical and physical help, especially those who are in the helping profession. I think it's very easy to get into that mode. Yes, I've been trained to help in this way. I've been trained by this knowledge, expertise, and just stop there. But the deeper needs of the soul, and I would think that I've heard from many people that this is what's happening, that people are not just happy, patients are not just happy just with the kind of treatment or the physical modalities that we have been using so far, but they're looking for a deeper kind of solace, a deeper kind of compassion, a deeper kind of love, right? That can be shown through that caring attitude. Just the ability, for example, to be able to listen. They say that time is more valuable than money today, right? Can I give one more minute to somebody just to listen, even though I'm under the pressure of time, even though the next person in line is waiting and I could be stressed, there's so many people to see and all that. But can I just overcome that sense of pressure, expand time, be available, be present for the person in front, and perhaps even give a minute more, a couple of minutes more, if that's what it demands. But at least that person would be satisfied and I would be satisfied, and there would be contentment from that kind of giving or sharing or serving. So I think these are times that are telling us to really examine more deeply what our interactions should be with each other, what my own interaction with my own self, my thoughts about my own self should be. If someone doesn't have the courage to do something, let me be the one to encourage. Yes, you can do it. Knowing that, yes, within the soul there is a lot of potential that has remained hidden. And maybe all it needs is a little push of a button, little nudge. And so, can I say one encouraging word? Can I be a little more accepting of whoever and whatever that person is doing? So, this kind of deeper values, deeper virtues that should really become a normal way of life now, I think, is what times are demanding of. So, times are demanding for this charity of love, of respect, of encouragement, of reassurance, of hope. So, can I just expand myself to be able to do that? And of course, the question then, how? How do I do it? Do I have enough of it within myself? Or do I have to, first of all, do my charity to myself first? And yes, of course we do. Because this is a day in and day out. I may think that I have enough of hope in the morning, right, when I get up. But as I go through the day and as things look more and more dim, I may find I myself need hope. So where do I turn for that? And of course, we know we turn first inwards to the soul, that eternal being that is full of all treasures, that can truly feel that I have enough. So I don't have to think about myself, and what I have is really for everyone, everything to share. And further than that, to be able to have that connection with the source, with the ocean of all treasures, all the qualities that we ever will need in life. For me to know that I can always connect, I can always receive, I can always refill and refuel myself, and do that from time to time. So that from that place of fullness, I can, of course, share from those spiritual treasures, but I can also share physical treasures. Even that needs spiritual treasure, the fuel of spiritual treasure, even for example, for me, to go out of my way and be generous, to offer somebody something. I think it comes from the inside, isn't it? So spiritually to replenish myself first, so that I can feel full and offer whatever I have and whatever nature has provided me, matter has provided me, my own fortune has provided me, God has provided me to be able to make that available for everyone. So it's a deeper sense of charitable nature that these times are asking for. And I think we can all do it. There's nobody, I think, who cannot do it. Whether it is through our body, whether it is through our mind, through our wealth, through our ability to connect with each other, we can all be helpful. We can all be charitable, generous in spirit. And then, of course, in material ways. Let's see how we can do that by simply turning inwards. Connecting stabilizing, acknowledging and appreciating what I already have within me. Looking under the layers of my day to day behavior and conversation and way of being. Connecting with my core. And finding that there is so much peace, love, faith, wisdom, power. And every time I take a deep breath, I reinforce all these qualities of life that I have come with. And looking up to that creator, the source, the one who has filled me with all of this beautiful, beautiful gifts of life. And as I do this, it is as if my heart expands to receive more from the one up above. Putting no limits, with no hesitation. And the more I receive, the more the soul is full and whole. I lose my sense of I and my and make whatever there is inside available to the world, to the people of the world, to nature, realizing that I am simply an instrument to pass on what God gives. And this is the state of mind where I can instantly sense my responsibility and respond to anyone's need at the time of need, not before, not after, but in the moment. Om Shanti.